the beans like we used to do. Pass the beans. Pass the beans like we used to do. Pass the beans.
Pass the beans.
Pass the beans.
Pass the beans.
Pass the beans. The Beans Talk.
All right, let's do this. Hey, Bean fam, it is the Beans Talk podcast, and we are 4 educators of color bringing you raw, authentic conversation about society views and community engagement. Everybody, I'm Babs.
I'm Steph. What's up, y'all?
What's up, fam? It's Ro.
And this is TJ.
Yeah, man, and we're coming to you guys virtually this time. Virtually.
This is that new.
This is that new. Everybody doing it virtually.
TJ, I like that art.
Thank you. It's a Basquiat.
Yeah, I could tell. He's my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Let's get into this do now. I know that we have been trying to keep our sanity in quarantine. And nobody is about this life. But I am wondering how you guys have been doing and what has been your favorite quarantine activity.
Yeah, man, I could start. Why are you widening your eyes like that, TJ? I wonder what your activity is.
No, we don't.
Yeah, I know.
I'm wholesome.
But yeah, no, I've really been diving into my sketchbook, trying to be more creative and all that good stuff. Doing a lot of drawing, learning some new things. I'm on YouTube now, trying to, not like my own channel or anything, just watching YouTube channels.
I was going to say, you vlogging.
No. Just learning how to do more techniques and stuff like that. And then I've also been laying some paint to the canvas as well, which has been really fun. But yeah, I think that's by far my absolute favorite thing. I get completely lost in that. I lose track of time, I'm not even gonna lie. I need to be studying because I still have class, y'all. And this is the reason why I prefer in-person stuff, because there's like this level of accountability when it comes to going to class in person.
That's true.
In comparison to virtual, it's like, oh shoot, I forgot. I have this class today. I need to make sure I get this reading done or something like that. So it's been very hard to adapt, but I'm trying to adapt the best way that I can. Being a little different and trying to be productive with work. This is my safe haven. This is where I relax. But, yeah, which I feel like I said before, but yeah, just trying to be more creative.
Yeah, same here. I've been really trying to read for pleasure. I finished The Alchemist, finally.
It was good, right?
Good. Yeah, it was good. And I wish we could talk about it in depth, maybe at a future time or off camera we can do that. But yeah, I enjoyed that. I'm reading now this book called Fever Dream. It's a horror book. And I'm reading that, doing some working on this book. The saga continues. And yeah, just really trying to take some time just to have some personal care. I think that there's a silver lining in this whole pandemic thing. I think that I feel like I'm just trying to find my center again and having the time to do it, not being required to go into work has really allowed me to do that. And teaching has been not so bad. I mean, it's different, but I don't think the teaching virtually has been, it's been a success, I think, given the circumstances. So
it's really dope to hear how y'all are tapping into TJ with the writing and Fabiola Bebe with the artistic side of you. If I'm going to be honest, I'm struggling. I set my intentions for the day and I'll be like, Ro, you're going to spend time in this and that and this and that, right? Trying to not let all of this fuck with me, but I've been struggling. There are a couple of things I had said that I wanted to really dive into during this time that I'm spending inside to work on inside, and I honestly haven't committed to all of them. yet. I say yet because now that I'm saying it out loud, there's like that extra set of accountability. But I have been spending time in prayer. That is something that used to be such a big part of my life, especially when I was in college, being at a Christian school. Like, it was easy to have a prayer life because it was part of our everyday routine. And yes, I have grown a lot spiritually since my days at Evangel, but I noticed that I needed to be spending intentional time in prayer, because it's during that time in prayer that I am like saying shit out loud, and like letting myself feel things. And so for the past couple of days, I've been doing that. But like, as far as tapping into my creativity, man, De La Real has been asleep, and I need her to wake up.
Wakey,
and
wakey.
So wakey. And so with saying it out loud, like, I definitely know, like, after we spend time together being fam, like, I am gonna go kick it with Serato for a little bit, because De La Real deserves that, and just like Rowan Augustine deserves that. So that's
Definitely.
where I'm at, yo.
Sorry. I'm telling you. I need water. It's not the Rona, y'all. It's not the Rona.
It's a Rona.
Black people, yo.
I know. Black people always making jokes out of serious situations, but that's how we survive. That's how we survive. For me, I have been trying to tap into my YouTube. And so I've been just trying to get more creative there. Right now, I'm in the middle of doing like a quarantine series. So just documenting all of the cool things that I'm doing in quarantine, and just sort of like my journey in making it through this very less than ideal situation. So if you aren't already following, because I know everybody on this call is, to all the other audience and listeners, please follow me at It's Steffi's World on YouTube and check out my quarantine series. So
yes. Subscribe.
Subscribe. Yes. We're going to get through it. I know as soon as all of this blows over, we're going to come out just better people, and we definitely going to be twerking something. So get your knees ready.
Go into every single brunch, cookout, like, we there. We are there.
Get your knees ready.
Get your butt cheeks ready. Get it all ready.
Ready. I want us on. I want handstands. I want headstands. Just like
stamina, right.
Splits and
all kinds of stuff.
All of that.
All kinds of stuff.
Blatant on graves.
Okay, we will be. No more. We'll be like, oh, I'll think about it. We are going to every single turn up, brunch, club, tubaga, nula, book drive, school drive, all the positive stuff too.
Oh, we're gonna be twerking. We're gonna be twerking there too. For real.
Read them books, kids. Like, we're going to everything. Gotta put that out there. God.
For real.
Well, thank you guys for entertaining me inside of your quarantine journeys. Again, the marathon continues.
Yeah.
And TJ, what you got for us for
the
debate?
The
debate.
The debate. Yes, I have the debate this week, and this is going to be a simple one, and it's going to be something that I experienced at work before the pandemic happened. So you guys know what cultural appropriation is?
Yes, but you should tell it again.
Though, for those of you who don't know, cultural appropriation is, I'm going to read the blanket definition so that you guys can then unpack what the debate is. So it says cultural appropriation is the adoption of elements of one culture by members of another culture. Usually it's the dominant culture that adopts elements of a culture that's not dominant. Okay, that's like pretty much what cultural appropriation is. In recent times, right, we've seen a lot of instances of a cultural appropriation that have happened on TV or just in general, and people are starting to call people out on that, like, and saying, "Hey, that's not cool." And people, I've heard like a variety of different stances on it, but I'm going to give you guys an example of something that happened at my job, and I want your opinions. So at my job, I teach at a school, and one day, one of the teachers decided to come into work with a dashiki on. Okay, this was not a special occasion. It was not Halloween. It was not Culture Day. It was just like a random day. This teacher, who is Caucasian, right? He wore a dashiki. It didn't seem to be for any type of purpose other than he looked in his closet, thought, "Hey, I'm in the mood to wear dashiki. I'm going to wear that today." He didn't have any other elements of African attire on. He didn't have like, he just had on a dashiki. Now, a lot of the people of color at my job were really upset. It caused quite a stir. And I don't know, people were saying how that was really inappropriate and insensitive, all that. And I just want your opinions. Do you think that, hey, Tuxes.
I know, hi, Tuxedo.
Do you think that these teachers had a right to be upset? So
there were teachers and students, or just the adults?
Just the adults.
So students did not have a problem with it?
I don't think so. I mean, I think if they did, it was not brought to
your attention.
To our attention.
Okay.
They probably sunned him behind his back. But kids make fun of everything adults wear in the building. One time I wore these, they're like what are they called? The billowy pants, those big, like
the harem pants.
Yes, the harem pants. And kids called me a genie. They called me Avatar. They called me Aladdin. They called me all types of names. And I was just like, I don't care. So they probably talked about this dude behind his back. I don't know.
Just not to his face.
Just not to his face. It was the teachers that were upset.
But didn't bring it to him.
I think that some of the teachers of color were so upset they went to the admin, and I haven't seen him wear dashiki since. So,
well, we haven't been in school.
I mean, it's been long. It happened it didn't happen right before the pandemic. It happened maybe like a month or two. So yeah.
I also don't see you wearing the dashiki just on a regular day. I mean, especially if you're white, I just don't see that being something that you just wear on a regular day if you don't know anything about it. But in terms of the way that the teachers reacted to it, I don't know. It's not bothering me to that extent, and maybe that's just a personal thing. But I can see where they were maybe going with it, or what they probably thought. And I also believe that the dashiki has a lot more meaning and history that I don't even know. And so maybe they were tapping into that or coming at it from that perspective as well. Like, you're someone who is white and you're wearing something that has like a deeper meaning to the Black culture, and that's not okay. But again, I don't think that it would have bothered me personally that much. I probably would have appreciated the stance, but again, I don't know. I think everybody has their own opinion.
What if, okay, so TJ, you asked if they had the right to be that upset. At the end of the day, you have the right to be whatever you want to be, like be as mad as you want to be. But here's my thing, like, what if, just being annoying, what if he understood that deep history behind the dashiki and he actually took the time to like study it, right? And he's wearing it because, what's the word I'm keeping all the time now? Because he wants to be an ally. Like, should people be upset
He's a computer teacher, just so you know.
Okay.
Just so you know, he ain't a world history teacher or anything. I just want you to know.
Oh my God. I'm just thinking, like, maybe he did his homework. I don't know. But for me, I probably, would I have gone to like admin? No. I'd probably be like, yo, brother man, like, what you got on? What you wearing this for? Like, what was your motive or intention behind this? If he just says, oh, it's just a piece of clothing that I like, I think that would have been a spot for me to like then educate him on the deep history behind clothes of the diaspora being worn here in America. And it's like, it could have been a teachable moment. I don't know if I would have gone, your people, the people of color at your job, they went to admin.
I think so, yeah.
See, like, to me, I don't know. Steph, I'm with you. Maybe
there's a very
I wouldn't have OD'd it like that. Maybe it's, I just.
There's some very outspoken people at my job. I also think that, like, what's wrong with him saying, like, oh, no, I just like the shirt. It's a beautiful print. I want to wear it. Like, why does he have to know that? I mean, I don't know. I just sometimes, okay, here's the issue that I have. I feel like certain issues that as a Black person, I'm like, everyone else seems to be like rah about. I feel like I'm like the bad Black person for not like being as passionate about it. I'm just like, I don't care. I don't give a shit like about that. That's not important to me. But if I say that in certain spaces with other people of color, it's like, what? You don't do that? But I'm like, I'm not saying I don't care. Well, I'm saying that it's not that serious. Have you guys ever felt that?
Yeah, I kind of feel the same. I feel like I kind of feel the same way about it with all of you guys. And there's one conversation that was happening where my cousin ended up bringing this up, and I get why he brought it up, but I know that he was also playing like a devil's advocate at the same time, because this kind of stirred some conversation for sure, where he was like, he just doesn't understand why, people are upset when there might be somebody who is actually trying to celebrate Black culture, and other people might consider it as cultural appropriation. But there are a lot of Black people that are wearing straight blonde hair or something like that, like a wig or something like that. And so, not to say, I just feel like people should just be able to do whatever it is that they want, as long as it's not that you're doing it with the intention of, I guess, appropriating an actual culture. Like, I feel like if he were to wear it, I would have loved to have actually sat down and had a conversation with him, because I don't want to just jump to the conclusion that he's just wearing it as if it's like if he wore it on Halloween, then I would have been like, this is not appropriate. Yeah, like this is not appropriate. Are you aware of that? This is just not appropriate. But I mean, like, what if he's wearing it during Black History Month? Would people find that to be a problem?
I don't know. I mean,
I think that the other thing about cultural appropriation that I think was missing from that earlier definition is like the relationship between stigma and profit. So, for example, Black women have been wearing their hair in braids, unique styles, cornrows since the beginning of time. And it's been stigmatized or deemed as less than when a Black woman does it. But then in like recent millennial times, you get like Kylie Jenner putting in cornrows, and all of a sudden it's on the front of Cosmopolitan, whatever. Well, I don't even know these white magazines. I don't even know why I'm trying to act like I know, but but it just ends up on the front of the magazine, and then it's trending, and now like the dominant culture profiting off of what has been ingrained in a part of Black culture for so long. And I think that's wrong.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be adopting someone's culture or identity, and then on top of that, making a profit and not even giving credit where it's due. Like, girl, you didn't invent cornrows. Like,
yeah,
what?
I agree.
You know?
I agree. Now that definition definitely makes a lot of sense to me. And I think in terms of profit, not just in terms of like the economic side of things, but just profit overall, like even just as a person, like if you're trying to do it, I feel like if you have like this other intent behind it, then that's when I kind of question it. But if it's something where it's like you're celebrating the culture and you respect it and you want it to be something that is recognized as something that's beautiful, then to me, I don't, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me so much, to be honest.
Well, yeah, that what Steph said kind of plays into what the original definition was about, how it's the dominant culture. It's like you can't, I guess, you can't culturally appropriate a minority culture that's adopting a dominant culture's culture. Like that's not how it works, apparently. But I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. Like what you said probably rings true, but how do we know that Kylie Jenner, okay, let's say she wore cornrows. How do you know that she doesn't really think cornrows are beautiful? She decided to wear them because she wants to do it. And then it's the media that put her on this pedestal and say, oh, look, like, I don't know if she like wore cornrows thinking like, yeah, I'm going to get on the cover of Cosmopolitan. I think that kind of thing just happens because of who she is. But if she decides to wear whatever because she thinks it's beautiful or because she appreciates the aesthetic or culture, like, I feel like it's just who are we?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
no.
I
think
like
now when you start getting lip enhancements, body enhancements, and things like that, and truly like taking over another culture, like, nah, like that's too much. But
and dating black men too.
I can't. Well, yeah, that too. But the matter is, what always gives me peace inside of these types of conversations is that nobody can do it like us.
At the end of the motherfucking
you can
day.
copy it all that you want. It's not going to look like when a black woman or black man walks into a room, it's just like that level of magic. It's just like dripping magic. Like you can appropriate all you want. And like, if black people stop focusing so much on the deficits or like how white people are taken and like really tap into your magic, like, and I think we're at the cusp of that period right now where black people are just celebrating and seeing how beautiful they are. And I don't even think white people can take it. They're like, whoa, 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 I'm overwhelmed. And black people has it all along. Our genes are superb. Our look is superb. Our minds are superb. Our creativity is superb. We are the cream of the crop. And it's
superb.
And you are copying something because you see just how beautiful that is. And that always gives me peace. And I'm like, dang, I feel bad for you. It's like watching a little kid like just try to copy somebody that they admire and are jealous of.
Well, copying is the highest form of flattery, so.
Yeah, it's just like watching little children like, oh, it's so cute. You won't be able to. No, but you can't do it like us. Your hair isn't made for that. It's not gonna look the way we do it. All natural. So that brings peace inside of these conversations.
If you really think about it, like I didn't even recognize how much is actually stemmed from Black culture until I went to Spelman. And that's when it was like, yo, even like with music, rock and roll and all that other stuff, like that wasn't always country music. Like they are upset about what was it, Lil Nas X or something like that?
He's so cute.
I bet he is, Terrence.
I think he is cute.
I bet you do, Terrence. But he was trying to actually be on like, consider his music, that song, the song. consider it a country song, but it wasn't. And a lot of them, I think a lot of the pushback was, in fact, because he was Black. And it wasn't until
they said it's not a country song. Country song?
Like they were not trying to consider it a country song
and
until Billy Ray Cyrus decided to actually put his voice on the track, and now it was actually considered country music. And it was just like, you have no idea when you actually look all the way back into history and where this music actually came from. It's like people that might have been recently freed and decided to create an instrument and is playing on these metallic strings and making country music, and it's like the blues and all this other stuff, and it's like, you can't possibly believe that
they did it first.
Do that. Like at the end of the day, it was created by Black people.
They were mad that one Black person made a country song and it went through the roof. And they were like, oh, hell no, y'all can't dominate this too.
And he's gay on top of that?
Exactly, yeah.
There's a lot of layers.
I think they even had a problem when, I don't remember who it was. It was a Dolly Pat. I don't remember exactly. There was like this female country singer that was going on stage for this country music concert type of thing. And I think Beyonce was on there, and they were upset that Beyonce was even, they were like, why is she even here? Why is she even on the stage type of thing? And I'm just like, like, let's just move past it. But I think that big time. I think the biggest problem that we face when it comes to that, and just circling back to the man in the dashiki attire, I think the biggest issue is the fact that we're lacking this conversation. Like, we're not communicating about it. We're not like I feel like or those teachers would have learned a lot more, or he would have learned a lot more from a conversation surrounding that that attire or his outfit. It's kind of like, why not just actually have a conversation? Well, you're going to report the man because he decided to wear a particular outfit. Just approach him and ask him the reason why he might actually be wearing this outfit, and then maybe that will shift your perception as to why he's even wearing it. And you might not be like, I don't like this guy, because now you guys never actually approached him, and so now, like, is he seen as this negative individual inside of your eyes from here on out?
But
you're
what
just to avoid him?
But what Rose said is true. Like, what's the end goal in you having a conversation? I feel like he's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. Like, if he said, okay, no, I just like the shirt, I think it's a beautiful print, people probably would have still been upset. Then if he said, like,
that would have been the space to have a conversation with him, though.
Huh?
I feel like, but like with him saying, like, I just like this because I like the print, then I feel like that could have been the space to have that conversation with him about, like, yo, here's what the different symbols mean, and here's what everything means. Like, I feel like that could have been the teachable moment right there. But instead, like, and if they chose to still stay mad after they had the conversation with them, like, they need to sit with that on their own. Because, like, here you have this man who did not, I'm assuming he did not know. He wore it because he liked it, right? Just educate the person. Like, I just think taking it to that extreme, baby, I just feel like having to go to admin, like, come on.
Yeah, I feel like you're creating this strain. You know what I mean? Like, this strain. Like, what if the man was actually like, I just love who you guys are, and I love, Black culture, and I just want to celebrate it. Or I don't know whether or not people would receive that message well or anything like that. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like, now there's this conversation that's never going to happen, and it's lost, and now you're not able to learn, he's not able to learn, and so now instead there's just like this tension that's now created because of the fact that this even came up and people were upset and chose not to actually have a conversation with this person. When I was at Spelman, I had a professor, and she was like, she would be the only Black woman inside of a room full of white men. She was a doctor, she was a doctor by practice, and like she also had her PhD. And so she would be in a room full of white men. But she was like, there are often times where she would be inside of that room, and they would make comments, and instead of tripping on them and like going in and going ham, she would basically listen to where it is that they were coming from, and then use that as an opportunity to educate them by explaining the reason why their thought process can be prejudiced, racist or have their racial biases just kind of like ingrained inside of that, perspective or that view. And so I think that's really the biggest problem, is that a lot of times people are just so quick to defend as opposed to just like instead just
give people the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
Yeah.
And assume the best. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. If a straight person came into work, or if I saw them wearing a rainbow shirt and they weren't gay, and they were like, I would not be like, oh, you're culturally appropriating. I would just be like, okay, that's what you want. I don't know.
That's different.
How is it different?
Okay,
I didn't see the
that's
connection.
what you want. I mean,
how is it different? It's
because sexuality and race are
it's a culture.
Different. So, like I was saying,
Why did we say
sexuality
that like that?
and race are different because within the gay community, you also have like Black, queer, like it's an intersectional type of relationship. So it's kind of not the same.
But you tried it.
I think it is the same. I mean, gays have been you're taking a minority culture that has been historically, they've been ostracized. And yeah, I mean, you can be gay and Black, or gay and Black, or white and Black, but that doesn't matter.
But there are allies within the gay community who wear those shirts, like at gay parades, or like Pride Week. Not gay parades, sorry. I don't know if that's definitely not called that.
I don't think that's what it's called.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Definitely not that. Apologies, but
gay parade,
like Pride events.
Yeah.
They have T-shirts. Like all those people aren't those who identify within the LGBTQ. And I feel like inside of that long LGBTQ acronym, allies is like a part of that. And so I just think it's different when you are kind of putting on someone's culture like a costume. Like that too is different. I've never seen anybody put LGBTQ stuff on like a costume. Or maybe and I just haven't seen it, but I just don't think they're the same. Because there's intersectionality within that subgroup. Like you have white people who are part of the LGBTQ community, and then you have Black people, and Black people still experience some like different experiences than white people who identify within the same group. So I just think it's different.
Well, you could also argue that someone who is white, there's intersectionality in that, because you don't know what they have. They could have be part Black, and you wouldn't know it. Like,
but that means they're not white. What are you talking about? No, they would be a mixed race. They wouldn't be a white.
Completely disagree. I think that you could. There's people that have. They appear to be Caucasian, but they could have like who knows what kind of culture they come from.
So the computer science
that's what I'm trying to say. Then they.
I don't know. I mean, he looks white, but who am I to say? Well, oh, you're not. I mean, who knows what I'm? That's what I'm saying, is that there's intersectionality within culture too.
But that's like there is. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. There is intersectionality within culture, period. But you were trying to compare cultural appropriation to LGBT. And I was saying, like, I don't think that's possible because intersectionality exists within culture. So like inside the LGBT community, that's so broad, and you have Black people who have different experiences than white people inside that. We're talking about taking one specific culture and like putting it on like a costume, or mimicking certain aspects of that culture. And I'm saying that you can't compare that to LGBT, because LGBT in itself is like an intersectional or subpart of a larger culture. I mean, I don't see how you can compare being Black to being gay, because there are Black people who are gay. That's what I'm trying to say.
You tried it, baby. You tried, TJ.
No,
the example didn't work.
No, it doesn't work. I just don't want to. to me, the term black and white in itself is broad. To say that, like, oh, a white person can't wear dashiki because they're
say they
white.
Can't. I didn't say they can't.
It's cultural appropriation. It's cultural appropriation to wear dashiki. You don't
without knowing intent. Without knowing
what they, like, you don't know. I'm just saying that there could be white people that appear white, but maybe they're part, like, you don't know what they are because you just don't know. Like,
yeah, but that's their own Black struggle. Okay, it's not necessarily anybody is discounting the fact that they are Black because of the fact that they are passing or are more fair-skinned than other Black people. Nobody's saying that. So if the man is actually Black, is he Black?
I don't know. No, he doesn't look Black.
What does he look like?
Caucasian.
How? How are you describing that? Like he has white skin, blue eyes, blonde hair?
Pale skin, blonde hair.
All right, Terrence. we're stretching here.
No, I'm trying to. I don't get how. Okay.
Let's just say, I mean, at the end of the day, because we're going down a rabbit hole here that's actually going nowhere. It's not going anywhere. And so at the end of the day, it sounds like where the consensus that we've all landed on is that it doesn't seem like any one of us thought that this particular instance, like, we wouldn't have handled it in the same way. And some of us are on the spectrum of, like, it's not that serious. Let's just go on about our day. And some of us are on the spectrum of, I think that we're losing opportunity to have conversations and educate other people. And I think, like, that's where you're going to land on either one of those two areas. And so, I don't
Agreed.
know.
That's what I think. TJ, making a face. What's up?
Agreed.
I agree.
All right, good. So we got all four squares on the same page.
Yeah, I just wonder, what was your stance inside of it? Like, did you end up having a conversation with these people? Your some of these coworkers, where you're like,
no,
why?
I keep
What's
to
the
myself
frustration?
at work. No, I had a conversation with the art teacher, and he was defending the other side, saying how it was completely inappropriate for him to wear dashiki, and I was like, it was like going back and forth.
Or a Black person?
Yes, this is a white man that's married to a black woman, and he was like outraged, saying how it was inappropriate, and I was just like, I don't know, it was a very back and forth conversation, and we just both agreed to disagree because he wasn't seeing my side of the argument, and I wasn't really understanding his point. Like, I don't.
That was an interesting conversation. A white man defending, like, the people of color, and you being a Black man of color with a different opinion. Like, both of you guys having that conversation was interesting.
Yes, it was very interesting.
I think that's pretty dope.
Right.
Yeah.
Teachable moment.
Yeah.
The thing is, too, is that, like, he told me that there's been times where his partner has actually wanted to buy him a dashiki to wear, and he refused to because he didn't want to be seen as, oh, you're culturally appropriating. And I was just like, well, I brought up the costume thing. I'm like, it's not like you're gonna come in blackface and, like, mock the culture. It's like you're celebrating it. Your wife wants you to wear it too. So I don't get, like, when is it not? Like, when can you just let people do what they want to do and not have this, like, you have no ulterior motive type thing? It's just,
I think the time that would happen is when people are actually open to having conversation and understanding people's intent. Because until that time happens, nobody's going to be able to just read anybody's mind, especially with the societal climate that we're dealing with and all of the racism and prejudices that's actually happening right now. I think the only way to ease that is to have those kind of conversations that you were having. I wonder if this coworker of yours was actually having another internal battle, though, because what it sounds like to me is that he doesn't want to be. Yeah,
Which
he
one?
doesn't want to. The art teacher doesn't want to fade it with the black partner, and maybe he thinks that he'll be judged, much like he was probably judging the other coworker.
Yeah. So no, I think that was definitely an inner conflict that he had. So
yeah, cool. Yeah, that was an interesting conversation. And honestly, I think it's really important to just make sure that we're keeping an open line of communication, especially when these are the kind of uncomfortable situations that we're placed in. Yeah. I love the fact that he wore the dashiki outfit because it stirred and it initiated this kind of conversation. I wish some of your coworkers actually decided to have this conversation with him as opposed to reporting him, because I think when we start to take those routes as opposed to confronting a situation head on, we start to create certain strain and tension, and unnecessarily so. And that keeps us back as a human race. Let's not even think about black and white. As a human race, it holds us back from being able to lead with love. You know what I'm saying? And so, thank you for bringing that conversation.
You're welcome.
DJ.
For real.
The debate.
Thank you.
The debate. Yeah, man. But now we got word of the day.
Yes. So the word of the day actually comes from something that I had started a while ago, and it resurfaced this morning during my prayer time, and I really wanted to bring it to y'all. And I think during this time when we are spending so much time with ourselves, I think this is important. So actually, this word came to me on October 30th, 2019, and the word is metanoia. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but it's METANOIA. It's a noun, and it is the journey of changing one's mind, heart, self, or way of life. So again, the word is metanoia, the journey of changing one's mind, heart, self, or way of life. Like I know for me, I've been trying to be a little more intentional with working on the different parts of me. And I know something else that I do is that instead of asking that generic ass question like, oh, how you doing? Like I really be wanting to know how people's minds and heart are really doing. And so just constantly working on those different parts of us, changing those different parts of us, I think that is necessary. Yeah,
I absolutely love that word.
Yeah, I was going to say the same. I'm all about continuous growth.
Mm-hmm.
Like I guess that's like, that was one of my buckets.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a non-negotiable for me, and also the people I have in my life. Is like constant growth and reflection.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're staying in the same place, you're not going to vibe.
Yeah, man. If you're twerking in the same space, we're not going to vibe.
We're not going to vibe.
You just shaking ass everywhere. Sorry. So that's the word I wanted to bring to the fam.
Solid.
And I needed that reminder for myself too.
Solid word. Metanoia.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I think it's a Greek word. It sounds Greek.
It does. It definitely does sound like it. I'm sure there's something along the lines of it. But yeah, man. Thank you, Ro, for that word of the day. Much appreciated. Let's move into homework.
Yes.
Homework, guys. And Tuxis is going to help us with homework.
What up, Tuxedo?
Please make sure that you follow us on Instagram at the Beanstalk Podcast. There is a link inside the bio where you can click and listen to all of our episodes. We're going to have this episode up on YouTube. So make sure you check out our very first virtual session. And take care of yourself during this quarantine. I want you to add that to your homework where you're doing something special for you. And just maintaining your sanity. Right, Texas? Right?
Okay. What? I didn't like that.
Look,
I love
she's over that.
I'm so over you, turrets.
And that does it, guys.
Yeah.
We love you. Stay safe. Stay healthy.
Yeah,
bye.
take care of yourself, yo.
Love you.
Hey!